Hello everybody, welcome back to Screenstars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2022 horror film Bunker. The film is directed by Adrian Langley and it stars Roger Clark, Luke Baines, Sean Cullen, Julian Feeder and Eddie Ramos. Now the film focuses on a group of Allied soldiers during World War One. They are doing, they're in kind of in no man's land. You've got the Allied soldiers in their bunkers, sort of thing, and then you've got the Germans in their bunkers over there. No one dare advance because you'll get cut to pieces. All that sort of stuff. And then they notice, the Allied soldiers, that the Germans have left the post. They've left their bunker basically unattended, which gives them an opportunity to advance on the Germans' position. So they do so, thinking it's going to lead to fame and glory and all that kind of stuff. Once they get to the bunker, they realise that the Germans have sealed it shut and left, basically, all of a sudden. So the captain orders the bunker to be basically opened because he thinks there's like all sorts of secrets behind there, German secrets that, he's going to be able to grab hold of. Once they get inside, they get trapped, basically. The bunker kind of gets sealed shut through like a bombing raid, something like that. And then they realise that they have actually entered this horrific place that's full of horrors and some kind of malevolent entity that slowly turns each man against the next. Right, so what are my thoughts on Bunker? Well, war-based horror films, and especially war-based horror films based in a bunker, can be quite effective. There has been a few of them over the years, some of them, decent, some of them not so much. And while I'm not here to tell you that I think this film is, fantastic and that you should go out of your way to watch it, I think it's certainly quite watchable, this film. There's too much wrong with this film to really overly recommend it. I think one of the major problems with this film is it feels like a short story or a short film that's kind of meant for an anthology story that's been spread out over an hour and a half. There's not enough story to make this thing work over 90 minutes or however long the film is, unfortunately. So what you kind of get here is you get a good setup, a good concept, a good idea. The setup's decent with them getting to this German bunker. The idea's good. We kind of know, or we've got an idea why the Germans have done one. So they get in this bunker. So the first part of the film's decent, and you're thinking, right, okay, what's going to happen here? And then they start turning these soldiers. The mental state starts deteriorating, and there's this weird goo all over the place, and it's a bit of a nice mystery going on, sort of thing. But then it kind of keeps kind of rinsing and repeating the same scene just with different soldiers. So you'll get one soldier that is kind of infected by something and the mental state declines, so they basically go mad, and then they turn on the others, they attack, people get injured or whatever, then they get through that, and then there's a couple of dialogue scenes or whatever scene they decide to give you, looking for supplies or two soldiers chatting, whatever it is, and then boom, it'll happen again, but it'll be with a different soldier next time. So it continues to rinse and repeat that formula till the end of the film, till there's pretty much nobody left, and you're just kind of like, I think there was more potential here. You know what I mean? There was more potential to really ramp up the horror in this film, because there are definitely moments in this film where I think it does work. There's some quite effective scenes in the film, and some, stirring moments where you kind of think, yeah, that's impressive. We've got this soldier who's basically gone mad, like dressed up with a gas mask on and all this kind of stuff, and it looks quite intense and frightening. And then that's it. It's just kind of up and down, and it doesn't ever do anything particularly original with it. Now, without spoiling things, you might think there's some kind of demonic entity involved here, or some paranormal stuff going on where people are getting possessed by ghosts or whatever, the ghosts of dead soldiers, whatever you may think it is. But whatever you may think it is, isn't actually what's going on. So you could argue when you do find out what's going on, it's either creative or stupid. And I'm a little bit in the middle in regards to the reveal that takes place as to what's going on. And it doesn't necessarily explain everything. But needless to say, it's more organic rather than paranormal, I suppose it's fair to say, in regards to what it kind of gives you as an explanation. And like I say, you're not sure by the time the film finishes if you think it's being creative and different or if it's just being a little bit silly. So I do think this film had some good ideas going into it. I really, really do. I don't think they all worked. I think a lot of them missed, and I think some of them landed. I think if they'd have made some more creative, different choices here and there, ramped up the horror. There's some interesting ideas going on in this film in regards to body horror as well that I think they could have expanded on, and given us a little bit more character development, because we don't really have an awful lot of that either in the film. So you kind of get a lot of these nameless or faceless soldiers whose names you can't remember that we're left supposed to care about. So I think with a little bit more care and attention, I think this film could have been a heck of a lot better than it turned out to be. As it is, it's a watchable war-based horror film that's based in a bunker. And if those are the sort of subgenres you like in horror, then you could certainly do far worse than this. But I do think there's a lot of wasted potential with this film as well. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I'll be back with more content on the channel very, very soon.